Hello everyone, I'm Armin. Thanks for joining me in my craft room today. If you are new here, welcome. I post card making tutorials and project inspiration videos. You can also find me on Instagram at Armin's Craft Room, where I post card inspiration and the occasional bullet journal inspiration. I hope you enjoyed today's crafting session. In today's crafting session, I used the Spellbinders Welcome Fall Etched die set. I have already cut all the dies and ink blended them off screen. For a step-by-step ink blending tutorial, please watch my video Run Up to Christmas Hop 2023 Week 2 Ink Blending. I use a different die set, but the concepts, tips, and tricks apply to this set too. I borrowed this set from my mother-in-law and I had so much fun with it, I put it on my Christmas wish list this year. This set is very versatile. Anything can go in the basket, from flowers, Easter eggs, birthday or Christmas gifts, really anything you can imagine. The leaves can be cut in any color for any season. Each component can be used with other stamps and dies as well. Here, I ended up not liking the way I assembled the first basket, so I tried an alternative layering and liked that better. Here, I'm attaching a piece of embossed, oxidized copper specialty designer series paper from Stampin Up to the standard American A2 card base, measuring 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I used the Stampin Up Distress Tile 3D embossing folder blended with Altenew jet black ink and a foam tool to further distress the paper. As I test out different potential layouts, I'm unaware that only half the card is in the shot. The basket die has a slit in the top so your apples can sit inside the basket. I love this detail as it means I don't have to guess where to put the apple. Here I'm adhering apples to the back of the basket, thinking that you might be able to see some of that rounded red shape of the sides of the apples from the front. You can't really tell the way I've assembled this basket, so in the future I think that if you wanted some red to show through, you could not put as many of the brown pieces back together in the backing so it won't look as solid, or you could just put a solid sheet of red scrap paper behind there. I'm adhering the pumpkins to the base of the card, and then I'll add the sign in there too. We're going for a pumpkin patch style look. Put the basket on this card. I know I want it to be near the pumpkins, and I want to be able to put some other pumpkins in front of it as well. Alright, so we're going to pop up the basket on 3D foam tape to help give the card a little bit of extra dimension. Anybody who's seen my cards knows that basically it's not complete in my eyes without the foam tape. I absolutely love the dimension that it provides. I'll pop up some of the pumpkins on foam as well so that we've got multiple layers of pumpkins coming through, looking a little bit deeper than just a 2D card. These are branches that came in the die kit, and I cut a couple of them, but I'm only going to end up using one of the cards so that the leaves come out making a whole fall scene. There's really no right or wrong as far as where the leaves are going, so I just kind of put a lot of tape adhesive on the back of the leaves the best I could and place them down. Generally, you wouldn't see so many different colors of leaves on one tree at one time in nature, but this is a card, so we have some creative flexibility, and the multiple tones of leaves with the fall colors really adds a lot to the card. And I am going to add some of these green leaves down to the pumpkins as well by the stems. As I build up this branch, I'm very focused on where the leaves are in terms of other colored leaves and same shape leaves. So I'm trying to get some variance in there, particularly with the colors so that we're not putting too many greens and reds next to each other and yellows all together, trying to keep it a little bit spaced out to give it more interest. As this is a fall card, I am going to have some of the leaves falling off the branch and into the scene. This is one of the reasons that I did not pre-stamp the sign on the front of the card with the sentiment. I wanted to have some leaves falling in front of this sign as well, and in order to line that up and make sure it looked right, I thought it was just easier to stamp directly onto the card. Now, of course, there is a risk with this, so be very confident in your stamping if you're going to take this route. Right, I did not die cut enough pumpkin tops or stems when I borrowed this from my mother-in-law, and I'd already returned the dies. So in situations like that, or if you're just not into gluing really tiny pieces together, you can always take a dark brown marker and color in the stems. They don't have the same dimension in the etching that the die cut piece will have, but they do still bring the color. This particular marker happens to match the paper. One of the final pumpkins here. As you see, I put foam tape on the bottom and regular adhesive on the top. That's because the basket's lifted up on foam tape, so to put this pumpkin in front and have it lay flat and stable, you would need foam tape on the bottom to keep it the same level. I'm using scrapbook.com white pigment ink here, and the sentiment was a freebie from HoneyBee Stamps. It says pumpkin kisses and happy wishes. And I'm going to pull out the heat tool here to help the pigment ink dry a little bit more quickly. You don't have to heat this ink up at all. You could just leave that out to dry overnight. Thank you so much for joining me in my craft room today. Here's a look at the final card. I'm really pleased with how this one turned out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and possibly subscribe with the bell notification on so you can be notified when my next new video comes out. Thank you so much and happy crafting.